Hello, young explorers. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's as tiny as it is huge in impact. Can you guess what it is? Yes, you're right. We're talking about microplastics. Microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic, smaller than a sesame seed, that are found everywhere around us. In the air we breathe, the water we drink, and even the food we eat. But did you know that these microplastics can carry toxic chemicals that can be easily absorbed by our skin? Sounds scary, right? But don't worry, we're here to understand this better and learn what we can do about it. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about these tiny pieces of plastic? What's the big deal? Well, let's dive deeper. Microplastics are not just tiny, they are everywhere. From the deepest oceans to the highest mountains, and yes, even in our homes. They come from various sources like broken down plastic waste, synthetic clothes, and even your toothpaste. But here's the real problem. These microplastics are not just harmless bits of plastic. They act like tiny carriers, absorbing toxic chemicals from their surroundings. And when these microplastics come into contact with our skin, these toxic chemicals can be transferred and easily absorbed by our skin, potentially leading to various health issues. That's right, folks. These tiny particles could be causing big problems. But don't worry, in our next section, we'll talk about the effects of these microplastics on our health and environment. Effects of microplastics. So, we've learned that microplastics are tiny, they're everywhere, and they carry toxic chemicals. But what does this mean for us and our environment? Let's find out. When microplastics enter our bodies, either through the food we eat, the water we drink, or even the air we breathe, they can release those toxic chemicals, which can then enter our bloodstream. These chemicals can potentially disrupt our body's normal functions and could lead to a variety of health issues, including inflammation, genotoxicity, oxidative stress, apoptosis, and necrosis. But it's not just us humans who are affected. Microplastics also pose a threat to our wildlife and ecosystems. Birds, for instance, can mistake microplastics for food or nesting materials. This can lead to physical harm and exposure to toxic chemicals. In our oceans, fish and other marine animals can accidentally ingest microplastics, mistaking them for plankton or other food sources. Sea turtles, in particular, are known to confuse plastic bags for jellyfish. When they eat these plastics, it can cause blockages in their digestive system and release harmful chemicals. In the ocean, microplastics can absorb pollutants and transport them to different parts of the world, disrupting entire ecosystems. From the smallest plankton to the largest whales, no creature is immune to the effects of microplastics. It's a problem that affects us all, and it's up to us to find a solution. While the situation might seem dire, it's not all doom and gloom. Scientists and researchers around the world are working tirelessly to understand and combat the issue of microplastics. Every day, new studies are being conducted to learn more about the effects of microplastics and how we can mitigate their impact. These studies are crucial in helping us find ways to protect our wildlife and ecosystems from the harmful effects of microplastics. And remember, every little bit helps. By being mindful of our plastic use and disposal, we can all play a part in reducing microplastic pollution and protecting our precious wildlife. So, let's stay hopeful and do our part to make a difference. In the next section, we'll explore some solutions and what we can do to help. Solutions. Now that we understand the problem, let's talk about solutions. How can we tackle this microplastic menace? The fight against microplastics isn't just an individual effort, it's a community effort. When we come together as a community, we can make a much bigger impact. One of the most effective ways communities around the world are fighting against microplastics is by organizing beach cleanups. These events not only help remove plastic waste from our environment before it breaks down into microplastics, but also raise awareness about the issue of plastic pollution. Communities can also implement and improve recycling programs to ensure plastic waste is properly managed and doesn't end up in our oceans or landfills. Another great community initiative is setting up community gardens where compostable materials are used instead of plastic ones. This not only reduces plastic waste, but also helps create a greener and more sustainable community. Lastly, communities can advocate for policies that reduce plastic pollution at the local, national, and even global level. By coming together and raising our voices, we can drive change on a much larger scale. Remember, every little bit helps. And when we work together as a community, those little bits can add up to a big difference. So, let's do our part to protect our planet and our health from the effects of microplastics. Together, we can make a difference. Conclusion. And that brings us to the end of our journey into the world of microplastics. We've learned about what microplastics are, the problems they pose, their effects on us and our environment, and most importantly, what we can do to help. Remember, every action counts. Whether it's reducing our use of single-use plastics, participating in a local beach cleanup, or advocating for policies that reduce plastic pollution, each one of us has a role to play. So, let's take what we've learned today and put it into action. Let's work together to protect our planet and our health from the effects of microplastics. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. Remember, change starts with awareness. So, share what you've learned with others and let's make a difference together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting adventures into the world of science. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.